Welcome back to the offseason in our New Orleans Saints online user franchise. If you're not new to the channel, you probably know that these are usually a bit all over the place because each sim is like one whole day, so I gotta record like bits and pieces, put it all together, and it's a little bit of a nightmare, but it's also a good bit of fun. A 32 user offseason is just bound to be crazy, and we obviously start out with a couple of moves. The first of those moves is, believe it or not, being able to re-sign Chase Young instead of being stuck to that franchise tag. Didn't want to risk it because that tag could have been anywhere in the 30s. Could have been all the way down to 25, but either way, a 3-year 78 is about fair. We also picked up the 5th-year option on Olave. We also released Taysom Hill because we're broke. And sadly, our older players that are paid and getting paid a lot did not retire. We also did a bunch of restructuring, which I think all these guys are going to be here long term, so it makes sense. Generate a little bit of money for now, which we definitely have enough money for a little bit of free agents, our re-signings, all that good stuff. And speaking of them, here are those signings. Not a whole bunch of great players, but a lot of good role players. JT Woods is super fast. Dorian Williams is decently athletic, same as Akeem Davis-Gaither, as you can see here. 88 speed in the 90s for Excel. He is 27, but we lost Willie Gay. We're basically replacing Willie Gay with another Willie Gay. It's really great. Dorian Williams, don't know if he's actually going to be here like long term because we're going to be probably drafting someone in the draft itself. But once again, more security blankets. Same with Daquan Hardy, very fast guy, kind of a slot type player, really athletic, very good at jumping in as well. And we now move on to JT Woods, who could start because Tyrann Mathieu, let me tell you, he's down to 85 speed, which is brutal. We also traded off Penning for a 4th-round pick. I end up showing that in a little bit, I think. But Dalton Reisner is a better fit, I think, as a pass blocker. You can see here he is. Trevor Penning to the Rams. Another spoiler alert. In the training camp section, he actually gets him to superstar, which probably doesn't really matter because his progression is really slow. But here we are in the scouting process now, looking at some wide receiver options. I think Tyquan Thornton's decent, but that wasted season because he didn't get to finish the year, doesn't get a dev up, he's 25 years old, normal. It's kind of rough. It's kind of rough, unfortunately. We now move on to the kind of DT position, another position that we definitely need to improve on as Cameron Jordan regressed really, really hard as well. We have Cabrera. We're just looking around at, kind of different trench guys. Marquise Graham. It's a good chance that if we stay in the first round, we will be looking at a defensive tackle type pretty early on, but also looking at wide receiver. That wide receiver had a round 1 talent grade, even if I don't know if I believe in it. Really athletic linebacker. Definitely want to add a linebacker Demario Davis is still looking decent, but for how long, right? Austin Pittman, super athletic as well. We have safeties. Definitely could use a safety. JT Woods is good, but I would prefer better, maybe younger, maybe more developable, but JT Woods is a decent player, I suppose. But yeah, a lot of really solid safeties with a lot of speed. Steve Gore, insanely athletic, a 4.35 40. Mobley, pretty fast. And this is a really good safety class, which is arguably one of our weakest positions. So not bad. I've got a couple of running backs. I still believe in Kendre Miller, but we're keeping our options open. Look at this guy looking really small. But we will look at all options. No real for sure need necessarily. But here we are in the draft. The first pick overall going to the Cleveland Browns, which obviously they are going to end up taking quarterback. We'll obviously have all the devs, the overalls after the draft. We'll see those for almost every position, let alone just, the first round. We're also probably going to just have the walkouts from the first, top 5 picks, and then we'll show you each round how they went position by position, team to team. There's a couple of teams in this first round that do have a lot of first-round picks. I think there's a team with 3, another team with 2, another team with 2. There's multiple teams with multiple first-round picks. And, of course, the Panthers, with pick 2, do land themselves an X-Factor edge. I will spoil that here. Very solid-looking edge. You'll see him in a little bit. Really, really good player. Was on my board, but obviously I knew he was never going to get down there. And then we now move on to the 3rd pick, who I can't remember if that was a quarterback or a corner. Once again, we'll take a look at that. Obviously, this is the 4th pick. The Titans taking quarterback Samson, who I think was superstar, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have another draft pick here. Pick 5 overall. Vanover, who is an edge rusher. We'll take a look at all these players in a little bit, but here is how the first round kind of shook up because I traded back. We were supposed to be in there at in the pick 28, I believe. We traded back, getting a pretty high third-round pick with that high second-round pick. Looking at this board here, though, you have a couple of wide receivers running at 7 and 8. The Jets with QB at 6, probably really happy that the Seahawks didn't go with one. Roy Roby, a safety at pick 9, cornerback at 10. A pretty slow tight end, I got to be honest, at 11, but a pretty good draft overall for that Dolphins team as they ended up with a couple of safeties. Once again, we'll look at all those players a little bit later. A couple of running backs, pick 17 and 18. Some edge rushers in there as well. Wide receiver, they had a little bit of a run. There was 4 of them in the first round, but for the most part, still a couple of wide receivers still remaining there in the second round with a chance for us to maybe take the wide receiver we were eyeing up. And yes, like we said, Doug Howard is still there. I know he looks raw, but the true talent says 1. I think I'm willing to take him. 22-year-old Doug Howard. Now, I think they will show you the walkout no matter what for your team itself. So at first I was kind of thinking, oh, did we land a goon? I don't think that's how that works. I think it is actually based on the fact that he's just on our team. Looking a little old, but obviously some things will change. All right, nice haircut and whatnot, plastic surgery, the whole 9 yards. True talent 12, not the fastest guy in the world, but hidden dev, looking good. I mean, this is a good-looking player. I think this is going to be a guy that will easily be number 2 wide receiver right away. We'll show you the dev and the overall after the fact when the draft is over, because it's a little bit of a different league. This is an online league. Everyone's going to be looking at devs across the board, so there's no point not to look. But yeah, this is a solid-looking pick, especially since I was willing to take him in the late first. We were able to trade down and get him. Of course, another second-round pick here now. Looking at the defensive tackle position, Jacoby Clemens, in my opinion, looks to be the best remaining guy. The guy I really wanted, who was 20, went a couple picks before this to the Chiefs, and this is the next best thing. 88 true talent, but also hidden development trait. A little lackluster in strength, but pretty athletic, and I mean, he just looks like a good player. 6'4", 300 pounds, 22 years old, hidden dev. You can't really ask for much more than that. On to our next pick, pick 28 in the second round, Austin Pittman, linebacker, very athletic. This is a tough decision because there's actually a lot of different linebackers to choose from still. You have safety like Steve Bingham, who's got a 4.43 40. Zone's not the best, but he looks really good too. I'm just worried that speed is truly king, and I really want a super fast guy to stop the deep ball. Steve Gore looks really, really, really raw, but he is also by far the best athlete at 6'2" with a 4.35 40 and elite speed. That's who we're going with. Insanely athletic. Unfortunately, you saw that 228 true talent, I think that was. That is going to be a low overall player. But this is how round 2 ends. You can see the Browns with an outside linebacker with their first pick in the second round. Even more tight ends here in the second round. A lot of them are on the slower side. I think the Chargers with a really fast one. We'll probably look at him in a little bit. But yeah, a lot of defense, a lot of trench work. If it wasn't defense, it was like offensive line mainly in this second round, which is a good spot to put it. The Bengals with a running back at 35. I'm pretty sure that guy ends up being really, really solid as well. Looking at pick 42, that's what we were talking about, that DT we were aiming for. Didn't get him, but I'm still really happy with who we got. Entering the third round, could have went safety or linebacker in that second round. Decided to go safety, and I don't think it's the worst decision, as we do have some linebackers here. I've been very, very much so been looking at Dorsett and Pittman. It's really hard to decide, who's the better of the players. I think Pittman is another kind of similar player to Gore, where he's the best athlete, but not the best player. So we're going to change it up a little bit and actually choose a guy that is pretty athletic, but also a good-looking player who ends up being hidden dev. 90 speed, 88 excel, good change of direction, okay jumping. And of course, you can see here now, this is how the third round ends. A lot of safeties, a lot of linebackers, which just happen to be the two positions we needed quite a bit the most. And here we are making a trade up with the Eagles, sending off one of our many 6th-round picks to move up in this 4th round. And I'll be honest with you, this pick is going to be a little bit of a luxury one. There's some linemen here. Maybe that's the route we should go. But I seen a small little running back. We could use all the running back talent we can get. I don't know how long this guy's going to last. So I'm going Aaron Harrell, the small running back. Unfortunately normal. Not much jumping, but decent speed and excel. Decent change of direction. He's pretty heavy, though, for 5'7", so he's still pretty damn cool. And, of course, now we move on to the next pick, which is in the 5th round. Larry Duncan, looking pretty decent here with some speed. 5'10", 193. That's who we're going to be taking. Get some more talent in that wide receiver room. And a little bit of a gem. Hidden development trait, 93 speed, 97 excel. Yes, he does have NFL speed. Why are we asking? He looks great. Return specialist for now, might be a starter later. Then we make a trade with the Dolphins. They wanted to move up a couple spots. We get a 7th round pick for the future. I'll take it every day of the week. And then here, I'll be real with you. This lineman sucks. This is just a bad reach in the dark. Didn't work. We now have another reach where, super speedy Nigel Hartwell doesn't look that bad, and once again, is as speedy as it says. We get a 5th round pick next year for our 6th round pick, and then we go for yet another depth piece in Danny DiCarvalho. Another raw player that maybe doesn't even make the starting roster. But here we are with the draft recap, and we landed a couple of decent players. Of course, Gore, as bad of an overall as we expected, but rookie player, super athlete, 6'2", 21 years old, plenty of time to develop. I am not worried at all. He's going to be the starter. I'm telling you right now, he is going to be the starter. Here is our wide receiver we took. Once again, not the fastest guy in the world, but pretty damn good injury. Really good kick return, by the way. That's got to be like top 3 in the entire league. Got to take a double take. But a solid-looking player. A little raw at some things, but overall, a pretty good player for a rookie who landed in the 2nd round. And more so, superstar dev. We now move on to our DT. A little raw, but really, really good finesse move. Has swim move as his trait. That's all that matters. Hidden dev, finesse, swim, and star dev, which you didn't get to see because holy crap, that was quick. Steve Gore, super raw, but decent zone coverage, actually. Obviously, normal dev. Here's Dorsett now. We kind of already knew these ratings. Change direction, speed, excel. That's what really matters for linebackers. Star dev, no real crazy superstar dev, unfortunately. And spoiler alert, won't be here for Larry Duncan either, but a pretty damn good draft class, in my opinion. We're now on to free agency where everyone is racing to try and find somebody with hidden dev of some sort, and we find one. Terrence Roberts, star development trade. I have no idea how fast he is. You find a hidden dev, you take him. Unfortunately, the rest are gone, so we're going to go for some mentors, but there was some players found. A little bit of a slow guy, but an X-Factor rookie found by the Commanders, I believe, and then a superstar tackle. I don't even know who found them, to be fair, but they were found. Now, though, we are on to the training camp. Some of the, not super riveting gameplays, but I actually do find them fun. I don't know how fun they are to watch, but obviously we'll show a couple of highlights here and there just to kind of show you the process of the offseason, see how we're looking. And so far, looking really good on this drill, right? Like, we actually look like we know what we're doing. Going for the double again. Are we going to hit this? We do. Wow. Is that gold? It's not quite. It's almost. Going for Olave again. Another double. Doesn't catch it, unfortunately, but still going to get that gold. Obviously can't go up in dev, but you got to get, your starting quarterback in there. You get 2 whole quarterbacks to do it for. I don't even really need Rattler, so, say what you will. Be cool if he got a dev up, though, because he'd actually probably be worth a little something. Probably at least a 3rd round pick, because he's actually got really good accuracies. Almost started him, but, Joe Milton was an option. I had to take advantage, Of course, Rattler, we end up with the gold there. No dev up, sadly. Now Kendre Miller, a guy that had so much potential last year. If he didn't get hurt, there was a good chance he would have finished in the top 5, maybe better for rushing yards. Gets the gold very easily. That's a really easy drill. This one, pretty easy as well, even with Lattimore on us. We get a gold with Olave. No dev up, which we really need one. We're going to go now for red zone attack, and we're going to go with Shaheed here because he is a superstar, and 85 overall is an upgrade point. What a freaking route, by the way. We're trying to get him to 90 if possible, get some really good upgrades. He had a great year last year, and with Superstar Dev now, he could be even better. And just to be safe, nope, we can't go back. We're going to go back inside. We get that gold. Does he get a dev up? No, but he gets that skill point, which is great. And now we're playing with the offensive lineman. This would be a huge dev up. Maybe if I could choose only one person to dev up here, I probably would choose Eric McCoy. Him getting to superstar would be insane. Put him at tackle, get some abilities, and just let him cook, right? Of course, gold there, and unfortunately not going to get what we were hoping for. Brazil now on the rush. Definitely want him to superstar if possible. He's moving. Look at the score, by the way, for him. He is moving. He is looking very motivated this year. Can he have himself a year? Maybe he gets a superstar on his own power with some sacks on the season, perhaps. But here, now on defense, Nakobe Dean, normal dev. he needs the dev up the most, arguably. I know Dorsett is young and, he's star dev, could go to superstar, but getting Nakobe to star gives him a chance to get superstar on a breakout anyways, and obviously better chance for upgrades with XP. Now, playing a little bit of defense, that is so bullcrap. McKinstry, it is McKinstry to the outside. Gonna get a nice snag there. Really good catch. He actually had a really good year last year. Very close to getting that dev up. Probably should have had it. I seen another guy with the exact same pick total. Just a little bit less. Wow, what a route. Just a little bit less than some of the other stuff. Just barely missed out on getting a superstar, I think. Pretty good coverage here, and didn't really need it, but felt like that was a sick route. We'll throw it in there. I actually do have a lot of fun with these. I know it's really tough, and we do restart quite a bit, but they are fun, and we clear up shop pretty easily there. Unfortunately, going to stay at star dev. Looking deep with Lattimore. Going to give Lattimore the nod here because he's such an older player with a high overall that the upgrade point is basically like 25,000 XP, You got to put that into factor when you're deciding this, and look at that, a really good route, but gets blasted, so we do keep the multiplier, which is really the main thing that matters. Going to get out there, getting a pick, going to put us one away. If we get a pick, we should be getting to gold, and we are going to get the SWAT, not going to give it to us. 4x, one pick should do it, and there it is. That'll be a gold. Obviously can't get any higher than X Factor. Going to try to finish this out cleanly, though. Gets underneath that ball. Great interception. And the last one, going to go for the out. And he will, and that will be a clean sweep. Looking really good there. And now, special teams, which is an utter disaster. But let me tell you, Mevis, he won Kicker of the Year. This guy is a good player, and he's got a gold. Could you imagine he gets a superstar, gets some abilities? Don't even know if there's actually even any good kicker abilities anyways. But, yeah, it doesn't get it. And now the hardest drill of all time, the punting drill. This is a disaster. You can see how many times we failed, how many times we restarted. If you just even get bronze, you take it and run. It's so hard this year because the only way to get the multiplier up is to actually coffin corner it. So if it's stuck in orange, you don't get that. So obviously, we stick to bronze. I don't care. I'm happy with that. Then another big thing, we got a new offensive coordinator, so we can actually get a speed boost for our quarterback. Getting this +2 to speed allows Milton to get to 85 speed, which means that up to 3 of his carries count towards the backup carries. So if we wanted to run 10 with Kendre, 1 with the backup, 3 with Milton, we don't have to get any more backup carries, which is massive. Plus, already with great throw power, only thing it really needs is speed. So a huge part of the next section is going to be us looking at rookies from all the other teams across the league, mainly with hidden dev or decent ratings. So if you're not really interested in other teams, only our team, skip to the 56-minute, 20-second part. And we have a bunch of upgrades we have to get into. So a lot of the players are going to be a little bit different than what we've seen drafted, because I wanted to give it a little bit of time to see what positions people would be playing their guys at and what names they come up with. Most of the players, I believe, have had name changes and look changes, so this is why I kind of waited a little bit. So some of the overalls might be a little higher because of training camp, upgrades and whatnot than when they were actually drafted, but it's kind of irrelevant. You kind of get an idea of, the type of player that each person drafted. Of course, this was the first overall pick, the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, very athletic with some good throw power. What is his traits? Ideal sense of pressure with tight spiral. Really good. Ideal sense of pressure is perfect. That's a huge part of if a good quarterback is going to be good or not, because you get pressured, you have bad throws. If not, superstar dev. Don't know if he started with star or superstar and then, got one in training camp, but of course got himself a, superstar quarterback regardless of how it happened. And then in the second round, he grabbed Scooby Williams, 6'4", 247 pounds, hidden development trait, fast pass rusher. He's got swim move, bull rush. It's kind of all you need. He doesn't really have the ability to drop back. Let's take a look at that dev. See what his dev trait is looking like, which it is star dev. And then he had a third round defensive tackle, another hidden dev. Really, really raw, but hidden development trait nonetheless. So obviously with a lower overall, with hidden, it's a good chance for him to still develop, especially if it's higher than star. Even if it is just star, even if it's just normal, you have a good chance to develop these lower overalls. And there you go. We now move on to the Panthers. Pick 2 overall, very high overall edge rusher, 87 finesse, very athletic. Injury, stamina, toughness, some concerns there, but a lot of the players in the league seem to have that kind of low 80s anyways. But yeah, really good. Finesse type is also going to be insane because of that speed rusher. He's going to get a lot of power, move, and block shed upgrades. Also is X Factor, kind of crazy. He let himself a normal dev offensive lineman as well. I'm not really looking at these in order. I'm just kind of looking off, some of their the highlight players, if you will. Another normal lineman. These guys could have been drafted in the 4th or the 5th for all I know, but just kind of looking at, the higher overall youngster players and just going on from there, just paying attention. Another normal dev guy. This guy was actually like a round 1 that sat for a long time, and he probably was just like, you know what, he's still here. Who cares, right? I'm just going to go for it. Why not? And, or no, actually, I think he might have AI drafted. The AI might have taken him there for him. Either way, a safety. He's not terrible. Also, I can't remember if I mentioned Snell or not. Pretty athletic, I'd say, especially for his size. No press at all, but that's most linebackers. No catch, no man coverage. He's a good block shed type, but 23 years old. You'd like to see that coverage a little bit better, but still is a good player. We now move on to the Bengals, who pick 3 overall, have a normal dev outside linebacker, Marquise Burke, 6'4", very good power move, very good block shed, good enough athleticism, but unfortunately normal dev, but still a lot of potential there, obviously. A bunch of running backs as well. Brian Gilmore, 94 speed, 79 truck, 76 stiff arms, 87 change direction, 83 juke move, really good injury and stamina, a little bit of catching to go with it. Why not? 5'8", 212, kind of a fun build. Dev is X Factor. I thought he was Superstar, and then he got to X Factor through training. Not 100% sure, but either way, he's got an X Factor. Don't know if he was the one that actually drafted 2 running backs, or, maybe the AI drafted for him, but 2 different types of running backs, if you will. So, I guess you got that 1-2 punch. Brady has, like, Chase Brown and whatnot, though, so probably doesn't need both, but maybe the AI got involved. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, they're good players. That's all that really matters, right? And then I'm not really sure there was much more to his draft besides this tight end. Greg Klein, not the fastest guy in the world, but pretty tall. What's the dev looking like? Star development trait. He's all right. We now move on to the Titans, who drafted quarterback Max Sampson. I don't know why I said Mac. Not the fastest, but pretty good, damn good throw power. Very accurate. He's, like a slower version of Joe Milton, which I guess makes him not really Joe Milton. But dev, I'm pretty sure, is pretty high at Superstar. He also has a guard, Samuel Meadows, normal development trait. I'm kind of curious where these linemen are coming from. Like, are they... Damn, pick 4 in the second round. That does kind of suck. But, because I didn't really go linemen because I just didn't have the, draft capital for it. And I felt like we have a good enough team at most positions. That guy definitely was later, for sure. We have a pretty good team, but we're missing some defenders. We're missing some specific positions. O-line, I can live with not drafting a single offensive lineman. We can make it for another season. That's my thought process. I was like, grab guys I absolutely need. Although then I grabbed 2 freaking wide receivers who I didn't absolutely need. I don't know. I'm just yapping. I still like our draft. That's all that really matters. We now move on to the Seahawks, who grabbed a really big edge rusher, Malik Vanover, 6'6", 272. Speed 78, 81 excel, 79 power move, 73 block shed. Kind of that athleticism of a Bosa, if you will. See if he has the dev of a Bosa. He does not star dev. At pick 5, it's kind of tough, but it's still a hidden dev player with good potential. That's all that really matters, right? Let's take a look at some of the other players they have drafted. Raphael Ellis, also hidden development traits, very raw. I was expecting those ratings to be like a guy that's, 350. Usually that's the type of ratings I'm expecting there. Star dev, not bad. And then this safety, this is a guy I probably should have taken. He is normal dev only, to be fair, but I say this is a guy I maybe should have taken over Gore, but I do like Gore's size and speed more, right? Like, Gore has 4 better excel, 2 better speed, definitely way worse hip power, and, a lot of his, nuanced stuff, like tackling and hip power and stuff isn't great, but I don't know, I wanted a fast safety that can defend the deep ball. And I didn't really care about the dev. I didn't care about the base ratings. I know I can develop someone that's fast. I think where we took Gore was good. Bingham was also a guy that was really high on my list, though. And I think Bingham's definitely smarter and his catching's better, but I think our guy's better to defend that deep ball, right? He's a little taller, a little bit faster. And I'm hoping it works out, because otherwise I'm going to look dumb. And that's tough, because I almost missed. I'm not really sure why he went running back. Might have been another AI draft situation where the AI just took best available, because he has Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, doesn't he? Unless he traded off Charbonnet. But hey, if you're going to grab a Superstar X Factor, you can't really complain, right? When did he grab him, by the way? I don't even know if this guy was on my list personally, but if he was, I'm going to be mad because he could have been mine. Pick 5 in the 3rd round. Damn, that's a good pick. But yeah, not really sure where he's going to play him. He's got, I guess, Charbonnet you could trade off. He's not, Charbonnet's nowhere near as good as Porter. So, yeah, I mean, if you want a really good backup, that's not a bad pick at all, especially in the third round. And then we have Sanders here. 94 throw power. Accuracies are decent. Speed's lacking a little bit. Oblivious sense of pressure. Before anyone gets crazy with, some of the real-life names, obviously we didn't use a user-generated class because, there's a good chance that people would know what that class is, and then you basically have a cheat sheet to work off of. So, we allowed people to just change the names of players that were, decently high. Try to keep them as close to, real life size and weight and speed, but obviously that's going to be nearly impossible. So when someone's going to be like, well, why is this guy 5'11" when he's 6'4" in real life? Well, that's why. It's just the best we're going to do. On field, it's not going to really look too different as long as you have the right kind of, face and equipment and number and all that. It's not going to make too much of a difference, right? It's just a little bit of fun. Relax. We have ourselves another tight end that is on the slower side. This was the tight end class of slow. But, they are tall. Tall tight ends seem to just be goated, so speed doesn't always matter too much. Stardev, 87, he wants him to be a god. You're wearing 87 as a tight end, you have to be a goon. Otherwise, you're just like, what are you? What even is life at that point? A couple of other decent rookies. Kamari Russell, not the best in hit power, decent zone coverage, really good injury and stamina. Very jealous of that, but unless he's like a superstar or an X Factor. So what I'm talking about with that athleticism build going for Gore, it sucks that it's so speed and height is all that matters, but it kind of is, right? Especially considering, even though there was some signs. Oh, this guy's really good, Trey Moore. When did he grab him? Oh, this might have been the guy that he grabbed at the end of the first round, so we'll have to skip him. This is not skip him, but skip him later. This is the end of the first round. Edge rusher he took. Looks pretty damn good to me. Really? Do you really have to back me out? I want to see this. But yeah, with Gore, I can develop him easily. I already got +2 speed for, not speed, +2 zone for him. Star Dev, not a bad player, but yeah, and I just feel like there's also a chance, even with some of those lower overall potentials, that he could have been a good player on top of it, right? He could have had all that speed and have been, really good. We now move on to the Giants, who took a really good wide receiver in McMillan, 6'5", 232, 93 speed, 91 excel. Look at the catching, the jumping, the route running, and the release. Only big problem is that injury. I've had players with really low injuries last forever, and, high injury get hurt all the time. So it's really random. X Factor, goated. Probably debating on because of the size and the position. Maybe the best player in this draft class. The Panthers' edge rusher was also really up there, but it's hard to beat McMillan. It really is. Really sucks for the Colts, who did land a really good wide receiver as well, though, as that was going to be the guy he was going to take, which was a pick later. But he did also land an X-Factor wide receiver, just not quite the size. So, it sucks, but he still landed a great player, so you can't really be mad with it. Quentin Sullivan. Wonder if this was McAllister. It was a day 3 DT that I was going to grab later on, named McAllister. Kind of looks similar to his build. Maybe not. I think that guy would have had higher finesse than that, to be honest. But still looking around for some of the other players that he grabbed, which I'm not really seeing high overalls. We're probably going to keep it because this is going to take too long. If not, going to keep it to above 70 minimum. But here are with the Colts, Chazaretta. I'm probably saying that wrong. 5'11", not as good. Kind of similar to our guy's build, if you will. Better catching traits, though, which I still don't even know if catching traits actually do anything. But yes, did also land himself an X-Factor wide receiver. So 2 X-Factor wide receivers. My wide receiver is superstar, so that's 3 superstar plus wide receivers minimum, and there's probably even more. He also grabbed a tight end, normal dev, but good enough speed. 6'3" is a little disappointing, but obviously at 85 speed, 85 excel, that's going to put him in the top 10% of the class, speed alone. What else did he have for youngsters? I don't know if he really had much more else going on there. Made a couple of trades, I believe, but yeah, not a bad class. Got himself an X-Factor wide receiver. And now we have the Commanders, who took a safety, pick 9. Highest safety, highest DB in general, I believe. A couple of DBs started to fall a little bit after this, but Roy Roby, very balanced, 75 across for man and zone. Really good catching, injury, stamina, toughness. Toughness a little bit of a concern, but that doesn't really matter with the other stuff. Good hit power, 91 speed, 92 excel. What's the size? 6'1", so very prototypical. What's that dev looking like? Superstar Plus? Star dev. A little disappointing, but a good player. Then you have Donovan Pointer, who only was normal. Damn, I actually almost went with him. The big problem with him was that I don't trust outside linebackers with their athleticism traits. 86 speed, 87 excel is not bad. Really good, tackle and block shed and coverage is good. The problem with him, though, is that change of direction. You can see 70 change of direction is really tough. It really is. Also, who the hell is this? Spencer Carr, rookie wide receiver. He's an X Factor. I wonder if this is the guy he saw that was like a rookie. Not a rookie, a UDFA. Obviously a rookie. A little raw, but, looks pretty damn good to me. Very slow, but he's a solid-looking player, I guess. Not bad at all for an X Factor, especially someone he didn't even have to draft. Kenny McNair, I said I was going to keep it to 70+, so, here he is. 6'3". I'd almost argue using this guy over the other guy, just because the frame guys do matter a lot on those outs and, corner routes, so, choose what you got to choose. Marquise Burton, normal dev. I kind of wish I would have just done it by, the first 3 rounds or whatnot, but we have a lineman, DJ Edwards, who I imagine he grabbed in the second round. Pretty damn sure he's star dev, so... I guess I'll take a look. Maybe I forgot. We're like, 25% away through this thing. Star dev. Good player, though. Really, the size makes sense for a tackle, right? Oh, he's 6'2". I thought he was 6'5". He looked huge in that image. I guess it doesn't make sense. Never mind. I'm never going to speak again. Cabrera, the 23-year-old that I was looking at. Hidden dev. 6'6", 289. Interior type of player. Really good block shed. Strength is good. Can't remember when this guy was taken, though. Probably decently high, right? Late of the second, early third, maybe? Really good player, though. Then we have the Chiefs, who took Travis Hunter. Normal development trait, 5'11", 188. I don't hate the kind of, resemblance, if you will. It's about as close as you're going to get without, actually changing any things. 94 speed, 93 excel. Some good man in zone. Normal dev, but a really solid player. Can't really hate that pick. Then we have a DT, Walter Nolan. This is actually the DT I wanted the most in that third round, and he went 4 picks before me. Age 20, obviously that's going to stand out to pretty much anyone that's drafting, and the worst part of that is that he was also a superstar, so definitely miles better than the guy we took, but outside of going a whole round early, it's not really going to make any difference, right? Also, another superstar, I'm almost guaranteeing this is a superstar. Pretty sure this is the player I was talked about. This guy, very solid. The problem is, once again, the change of direction. 70 change of direction for linebacker. You are going to feel that, unfortunately, but obviously still a really, really good player. And he obviously had a pretty damn good draft, so not bad at all. Got a couple of other players in here, like Mike Farmer, 70-something overall. Unfortunately, normal dev, but huge, so that's always fun. Now we move on to the Dolphins, who had 3 first-round picks. One of his highest picks was this tight end, I believe, Terrence Ferguson. The speed, I don't know what his speed actually was, but that was probably pretty noticeable. He is tall, though, and of course he does have all the catching traits, but that speed at 11 is tough. Dev, only star. Even if he was an X Factor, I still would be like, I don't know if I really like that, but at least he's hitting, at least he's got good catching. And then you have a safety. I would imagine Savage was the safety that was the highest pick. 6 foot tall, 21 years old. Pretty damn good hit power, pretty good man in zone, athletic, good catching, injury and all that's perfectly fine. Also believe this is a superstar dev safety, so pretty damn good pick. Definitely a bit of a redeeming pick compared to the first pick, so not bad. And then, unfortunately, this was actually also another first-round pick. Not the best. The speed is lacking. There's a lot of really good safeties in this class, too, so not really sure what drew him to this guy. Maybe, once again, he was lied to on the 40 times and whatnot, because you definitely can get lied to at safety and linebacker, without a doubt. But, yeah, 2 safeties. Savage, definitely a bit better of the 2, for sure. Cornerback, Jaleel Florence, normal dev, 6'1", not the fastest. A lot of slowness in this class. Maybe he likes who he likes, I guess. Jordan Birch, 6'3", 297. Really good power move, really good strength. Normal dev, but still a really solid-looking player. And then do we have anyone else? We have a guard, Cornelius, hidden development trait. I'm not going to really pay attention too much to the lineman devs because it's just so random. It's so up in the air. I mean, it's obviously impactful, but I don't think anyone really cares too much about the devs of the linemen, at least for not players that we're actually going to be using. Now move on to the Vikings, who has a huge morale drop because of the offseason stuff. But Will Lee III, very fast, great zone coverage. Hidden development trait corner. Let's see. The Vikings actually have themselves a decent corner for once. Star Dev. Not bad. Vikings usually, they miss a lot in real life with those cornerbacks. Dylan Tate. Definitely not that fast. Also, the trucking is lackluster for someone of his size, but still could be a lot of fun. It's just something about drafting a running back that's it's fun. Superstar Dev. Okay, I mean, that definitely redeems him a little bit. Anyone else? We have a right end, Scorton, the pass rusher. Decently fast-ish with that XL at least. Very good finesse move. Development trait. I kind of wish the devs were just revealed. It'd be so much easier. But, yeah, that's kind of not how it works. And seemed like a pretty light class here. Not a whole lot of players. Then you have the Ravens, who took a tackle, Miles Knight, 6'5", 318 pounds. Very good finesse blocking for a big dude like that. I mean, I guess 318, it's not that big, but you know, still good player. Star Dev. I would assume he was actually, he was drafted as an actual tackle. Usually a bigger guy like that is going to probably be better at power blocking if they're an actual guard. Bernard, 92 speed, really good change of direction, 93. That is a super underrated stat there. 85 juke move as well. This is a really solid running back. Of course, Derrick Henry, I believe, is gone now. Star development trade, but that is a solid running back for the future, without a doubt. Max Houston, normal dev, 6'3", though, with 93 speed, so there's obviously something there. Catching, unfortunately, is low, but there's definitely something there if he develops him. Teddy Blair now, 6'3", 263. Very good player, though. 83 power move, athletic. He's got the traits that you're looking for, so good player, in general, even though he's a little bit on the normal side. And I think that might be it for his class. There might be some lower overalls in there, but as far as like the main guys, I might miss some here or there. But as long as we get the main guy, first round, second round kind of gist of it, we're happy with it. Another wide receiver, the Falcons. Looking at this team, obviously Drake London. Rondale Moore is not really like a future guy, so I can see why he went wide receiver. Definitely could use one. Reggie Little, 6 foot tall, hidden development trait. Very similar to our guy. I think our guy has a little bit worse traits. Our guy might be a little bit better in the release and catch department, though. What's the dev comparison? X Factor. So there was 3 X Factors and a superstar at wide receiver in this class, minimum. There's probably even more. So that's really good. Sharif Mobley, the strong safety, hidden development trait, 5'11", really good hit power, good catching, and good block shed. Coverage is lackluster, but he obviously looks good in all the other fronts, which is, important. Development trait of star. And then for the most part, I think that might have been kind of it. I don't really see anyone else, unless he took some of these like lower overall guys a little higher. Don't think there was anyone else. Now on to the Cowboys, who also took wide receiver. This guy was intriguing because he was kind of fast, but at 5'8", I don't want to call anyone a bust because you can develop anyone into a goon, and he's got great traits and release and catch and all that, but yeah, this is definitely a guy that could have went a lot later. Really good change of direction. He's a fast player, but, he would have had to be in like 97 speed at that height to really be truly an elite player. But 5'8", that is tough, but super fun, I imagine. So George Marshall. Then he had 6'3", Forrest Gary, normal dev, not that fast. Probably lied about, kind of the speed a little bit, as the acceleration's 91, 93 agility, but speed at 88. That's a little bit of a weird build, right? And then another strong safety, 6'3", hidden, not very fast either. This is definitely a guy that you would be like, okay, is he a linebacker? The problem is, it's hard to really call him a linebacker because of his change of direction. I believe his change of direction is 84, which would make him like one of the best change of direction guys in the entire league right away. He's so close. If he had like 80 change of direction, that's a guy I would be like, yeah, that's a linebacker, that's fair. But because of not being the case, I think that change of direction is a little too strong at linebacker, right? Like it's just kind of crazy. But then again, you do have some other linebackers like Isaiah Simmons who are way better than that. Like when you factor in the speed and whatnot. I think that was it for that position. Now we move on to the Jaguars, who took cornerback John Kindley. Normal development rate, 6 foot tall, 92 speed, 76 man, 78 zone. Another one of those, it's a good player, really good hit power as well. It's a good player that just didn't get lucky, just didn't get the dev for. But you can't really, unless there's like a news thing, you can't really control that, so there's not really much you can do. Terrence Irving, 6'2", hidden development trait, 86 hit power. When was he taken? I just pray. Don't tell me I had a choice at this guy and I chose not to grab him. Let's see it. Let's look at the tape. Of course, don't get me wrong. Like I said, with our guys, or with our guy, you know, I do like that athleticism. I mean, you look at his base rating, 74 zone coverage, 93 speed, 93 excel, is ridiculous, right? But, you know, he's lacking in the awareness, lacking in the block shed, and, you know, there's a lot of red, and that's just never a good sign. Aggressive play ball tendency, I don't know if that's good or not, but I guess I'll take it. When was our guy taken? Damn. We sold. Okay, but that's fine. But yeah, as soon as I saw that 200-something true talent grade, I knew it was a bad pick that we made, but at the same time, I believed in the speed, I believed in the athleticism. Irving looks so much better, though. What can you do? You know, you win some, you lose some. See any other players that he had? Reinhardt, hidden development trait, probably. No, it's normal. Lineman class was a little lackluster. I don't know how I feel about that. Really, I mean, it's good in a way because I didn't draft a lineman, but it's bad because, you know, if I want to draft a lineman next year, this guy's pretty damn good. Change direction kind of sucks, but, you know, there's going to be a lot of teams still looking for linemen because the game, you know, this draft class was terrible. But Skillin, 85 speed, 85 excel. The guy's just 85 everything, basically. Let's take a look at that development trade. 6'2", 244. This is kind of the type of linebacker the Jaguars actually do draft. His superstar gives me like Devin Lloyd vibes, right? So not bad. What is the change of direction on him? 73. It's still going to be tough with 73, I can't lie, but at the same time, he's okay. We now have the Chargers, who took a running back Genty. Overall, what was that, 82? Math is hard. 82. It's 5'8", 21. Hidden development trade, star dev, unless he got a dev trade upgrade through training camp. 93 speed, 91 excel, 92 agility, good juke move, decent enough trucking, amazing change of direction. Injury and toughness and stamina is a little concerning because, you know, running backs do get hit quite a bit, but he looks like a pretty damn good player, obviously. Taken 17th overall. Then you have a fullback who's halfway decent, Mason Graham, the defensive tackle, already a 77, damn near 78 overall. 83 block shed, 76 power move. Don't remember if this guy was superstar or not, but the big thing that does kind of suck is he's not a speed rush archetype. Not only are speed rushers better on the interior, he is superstar, but you obviously get the speed rush upgrades, which have just been so busted this year. Fast corner. Do we have any other players? Any 23-year-olds? We have tight end Tyler Warren anyways, who looks really good. He's hidden development trait. Not the tallest, but 6'3", 87 speed, giving, you know, definitely a poor man's Brock Bowers vibes. Number 44, throwing it back for Dallas Clark, I imagine. Or maybe that's his real number, I don't know. Star dev. We're now on to the Steelers. I don't remember which running back was first. He drafted one of the running backs at 18, Terrion Stewart. Not bad, actually. I know he's normal dev, which, you know, you don't want to see at all, especially if this guy was the first rounder, which he was. Decided, you know what, that's not enough. I'm going to take, like, every other running back in the class. So, you know, here's another one. RJ Harvey, normal dev. Really just not a great build at all. Like, slow with no real power. And then this is the guy I actually probably wanted the most in the class, but I wasn't going to take him super high. I love that he's wearing number 1, giving me Dree Archer vibes. Maybe that's even the route he went. I don't even know. Did Dree Archer wear number 1? I can't really remember, but giving me Dree Archer vibes without a doubt. Like, we basically drafted Sproles, he drafted Dree Archer. Basically. I mean, it's almost the exact perfect comps. Star development trade. 24 years old is a little rough, so, I mean, that athleticism's kind of crazy, though. What's his comparison athletically to our guy? +1 of speed. Yeah, he is definitely a lot more athletic, but still a really fun player for both teams. Who else did we have here? DT, maybe he's decent. Zach Rice, is he hidden? Normal dev. A lot of normal dev O-linemen. What else? Ooh, safety. High overall. When was he taken? Probably after our guy as well, huh? Once again, 5'11", so it is 3 inches shorter, and the height does play a huge factor in those jump looks. Yeah, after our guy. I don't hate our guy. I know, it sounds like I'm justifying the pick every time, but I'm just hoping we can actually justify it by making him good. I think we can. Another normal dev player, but, you know, 80 power move. A lot of really high base ratings for these players, though, even if their devs aren't that high. So, I mean, you can't really hate the players themselves. And that's the Steelers draft. On to the Lions, who took a hidden development trait edge themselves. Tavon Carter, very raw, pretty damn athletic for that size, though. 280 pounds, 83 speed, 83 excel. Development trait of Superstar, good pick. Then you have a right tackle, hidden development trait, finally. Really good pass blocker. And then, to my knowledge, kind of like the depth of their class, not really much more than that. A couple of, low 70s in there that aren't, going to completely fly off the page here, but they're okay. Then we have the Niners, who took DB back-to-back picks, which starting off with the safety, 5'10", 91 speed, 81 hit power. Like I said, this guy might have even went. No, he was up. He was the first rounder. I'm literally just looking at it. But yeah, even if he would have been later, I probably wouldn't have taken him because I was looking for someone that's really fast, really tall. I just don't want to get beat over top. And I know our guy's going to be raw, but pure speed-wise, he's going to get there. John Michaels, normal dev, 80 man, 75 speed zone, 90 speed though. That's kind of a it's probably fast enough, but it is concerning. Right guard Gabriel, hidden development trait, some pretty good players for the Niners class. Then you have a tight end who's 84 speed. That's good enough. Hidden dev. I'm not even sure if he's trading Kittle, can't afford Kittle. What's the story there? But do remember you have Kittle, right? That's all I'm saying. Obviously a backup. Superstar dev. I guess he remembered, but he also drafted a goon. So why wouldn't you take that guy? Keaton, 93 speed. He was actually on my list too. But Duncan, even though we've changed some names around, was a bit better. Quarterback. He grabbed a couple of quarterbacks too, didn't he? I think he grabbed like multiple. It might have just been a case of putting some guys later on the board but not being there for the rest of the draft. He took 2 quarterbacks. Truman, 23 years old. Some okay quarterbacks, but yeah, I don't know if he's going to use them. We'll see. He's got Russell Wilson at QB. Wasn't a feeling Purdy. Oh, okay. Then we have the Eagles, who drafted basically like 30% of the draft on his own. Tim Keenan, very solid. You could still probably go finesse, and I probably still would go speed rusher if I was him. You get those speed rusher upgrades that are going to get all of your ratings up anyways. Star development traits, solid DT. Then he took, I would assume this is the edge rusher, right? Rusaw, I would imagine that's how it's said. 80 finesse, really athletic. 6'2" is a little undersized for edge, but, you see it all the time, so it's not really a big deal. And star dev, good player. Some of the other players he took, linebacker Christian Horrington. Normal development trait, but really, really good. It's just the big thing is that change of direction. Don't know when he was taken. He must have been taken after our guy, right? Awards, pick 19 in the 3rd round. Really solid player. Normal dev, but really good. 80 change of direction is really solid. Anyone else? Took a fullback, is decent. Linebacker, I don't really want to look at this guy. 82 speed, 78 change direction. Change direction's good, but speed is just, it's so low. There's really not a point in looking. Murray, he was hidden, but once again, 84 speed is rough. And then he took a cornerback, 6'3" in the 90s. Normal dev, but really, fast. Fast enough anyways at that size. Then he took Kevin Burns, speedy, 95 speed. He was on my list as well, but I pulled the trigger on Duncan, and, Duncan was hidden dev, so I'm not going to hate it. Especially since he's not even going to be, like, the number, in the top 3. I honestly wonder if, I should even, try to trade him, honestly, because he's one of the later guys, so I'm pretty sure he's allowed to be traded, so that might be a move of ours. Another wide receiver, 91 speed. Unless he took 24-year-olds, I don't think there's much more than that. That's the Eagles draft. Now move on to the Texans, who took defensive tackle in the 1st round. Graham, 6'5", 298. Amazing power move. Pretty damn good strength. Hidden development trait. Let's take a look at the dev. Dev trait is star dev. Some of the other highlight players, Gallagher, 6'3", normal dev. Pretty damn fast, though. Has all the catching traits. Amazing injury, stamina, toughness. Usually one of those is going to be bad. Pretty good trucking and stiff arm. So definitely not a bad player at all. And then another highlight type of player, the 6'6" wide receiver, Javon Mack, normal dev. Was really thinking about grabbing this guy early because, I've seen a lot of these types of players. They're raw. They're missing some ratings, but they are very solid. And I just didn't pull the trigger. He was taken late 3rd. Maybe I should have went for him just to have somebody cool that's, tall as hell like that. But, yeah, I mean, the thing is with him, I don't think he's going to be using him much because, obviously, he's got a bunch of good wide receivers. Let's take a look at these wide receivers. 1, 2, 3. 4, I guess. Mac becomes his number 4, which at 6'6" is a little weird, but yeah, I mean, that's going to be his lineup, it would seem. And then we have the Buccaneers, who took a 90 speed, 6'3" cornerback. Very interesting to see him hitting dev. These 6'3" guys, we've been seeing a lot of them, just normal dev, left and right. But he got one that is superstar. And then I got to say, not really much going on afterwards. I don't think he actually had many draft picks that were halfway decent, in fairness, so kind of makes sense. Morris Ware, hidden dev. He did grab another hidden dev player. This would have probably been someone in the 3rd or the 4th round if I had to guess. Looking at his dev, it is star. And then the last team in the 1st round would have been the Green Bay Packers. Took an outside linebacker, Daniel Hatcher, who is normal development trait. Very, athletic, good finesse. Needs some work, but he looks good. Green Bay loves to grab those guys at a little bit of a project, if you will. Then we have a huge Javier Fort, hidden development trait, 6'4", 343. Definitely very, very raw, without a doubt. But let's take a look at the dev. Star dev. Was thinking maybe there's a chance of superstar since he's one of those nose tackle, like, huge types. Anyone else he took? Corners halfway decent. Not really much going on elsewhere in the draft, though, it seems. A bunch of low 70, high 60s type of players. And now for the teams that didn't draft in the 1st round, I do not believe. Some of the teams that didn't draft in the 1st round, though, are going to be teams that maybe either didn't have many picks because of real life or because they made trades for actual talent, which we see quite a bit in the league. I'm not really seeing much here from the Bills. There's some random players in here, but I'm not really seeing much to even really look at here. So probably a lot of players that, maybe they traded for. Let's see what some of these overalls, like, did they trade for, like, Jonathan Allen's here, So, Nick Bolton, who I think was a trade, I'm pretty damn sure was. So there's some, some players in here that were trade pieces rather than, drafting Jermaine Johnson, Instead of taking the chance of the draft, just give me some players, Broderick Jones. So teams do that, and, it works out. Let's look what happened to the Rams. They won a Super Bowl, so we now move on to the Patriots. You can see Ayuk is there. Adrian Bowman might not have been a 1st-round pick, I don't think, but, I'm pretty sure all the teams I have now for the rest of this list didn't have a 1st-round pick, us included, which obviously we're not going to look at. We already did. Running back James Ortiz, normal dev. Not bad. I don't know why Ramondre is not an X factor, but, Fargus, giving me Hunter Henry vibes, ironically enough. Like, he looks very Hunter Henry-ly, if you will. Let's take a look at the development trait. He is star dev. I really wish I could just, X-ray vision it without having to, go in. Unfortunately, that's just not how it goes. Then we also have Freeman. So I don't know if maybe he was one of the teams that traded into the high, 2nd. We kind of did that. We traded down, grabbed multiple picks to extend our draft a little bit. But not a bad class for somebody that didn't have a 1st-round pick. Unless they did and I just completely missed it. It's my bad. Now on to the Broncos. James Williams, that is a low overall player. Anyone home, left tackle, 23 years old, hidden dev. Don't know if he's a superstar or not, but if they're a hidden dev lineman, that's a win automatically, I think. And then, not a lot of players here either. Could have been another team, once again, that traded for players. Javon Holland, I can't remember if he was a free agent or he was traded for. Breece Hall obviously was traded for. You got a couple players that were traded for. Then we got the Raiders. So crazy to see Brock Bowers that high of an overall at that low of an age. Peck, right guard Peck. This really kind of sucks for us because this is the guy, I can't remember who we took instead of, but this is the guy late on in that 4th round, I think, that we could have had. And, or no, it was the 3rd round I could have had. Didn't grab him. Late 3rd, I think it was. No, it was. We traded up in the 4th to grab the Darren Sproles type, which, I will say the E is fun. So, off the charts fun radar. Definitely could have used that lineman a little bit more than the running back, but I don't care. Then we had the Bears, who I know for a fact have been making a lot of trades, so I can't expect to be much of a draft class here. There's not much going on here because of all of those trades. Edwards is one of the only rookies that he has, but Jalen Ramsey's here and Darius Slay and pretty sure Khalil Mack. There's some trade pieces, obviously. Then we have the Cardinals, who took a wide receiver, Christian Barnes and Joe Cox. Joe Cox is actually the guy I was looking at late. Wait, was he hidden? I don't think he was hidden. I think he was normal and he got hidden from something. I might be wrong, though. Sure as hell looks like he was hidden. There's no way. Was he? Good pick. I kind of almost regret my superstar for this guy. Like, we're really, lacking size for this offense. I really should have just went for one of the big dudes instead of going for the... round one true talent, Not even just that, but I could have went for both, right? I could have had both. I should have went for some size. We have, no jump ball guy, especially in a user league where, playing the ball in the air as a defender user is very hit or miss at times. Those jump ball guys, they can make a difference. Instead, we're all finesse. We're all about timing and all that, which... should have went for someone big. Maybe it's not too late. Maybe I trade for someone. And then for the last player we have here, last team, we have the Rams, who I think just in general from real life don't have many draft picks, if I'm not mistaken. Free safety Eddie Berry, 91 speed, star dev. Don't know if you reveal them based on training camp or if this is a guy you got in free agency. I'm kind of curious because he's the only guy we've seen so far that's shown besides the Commanders wide receiver. Eddie Berry, late third, not a bad pick. And I don't see anyone else, unless there's some 24-year-olds in here, but could have been another team that also made some trades. Devontae Smith is here. So, Ritter was obviously, was a low trade, didn't cost them too much to be fair, but yeah, I mean, that Devontae Smith trade, that's pretty big. And that's basically going to be it for our, the draft class, a little bit later here in free agent week 3. We beat the freaking Chiefs in Sim. Let's go. Nice. We lost by 40 in the first game. What a gauntlet of games here. Might actually play this game against the Colts if I get a little bit of time. I'm hoping. I know Tempo's been wanting to play it, so I'm going to try to find some time, but if I don't, I apologize. And yeah, we're going to get into these upgrades now as we're heading basically into week 1 against the Miami Dolphins. We'll see. It could just be the end of this being upgrades. Maybe you get the Colts game. We'll see. But here are the upgrades. Joe Milton, assumingly, will be getting himself another ability slot in this one. What are we aiming for? Inside Deadeye is Field General. Scrambler for Jukebox. That's kind of crazy. Right, so we definitely want Field General to be 85. Strong Arm Deadeye is pretty good too. Pads with his ability have perfect. So Strong Arm is solid. Field General is really solid, though. So what can we do? I guess we're going to go Field General across the board here. 85 Field General. Even if I went Strong Arm, he would get to 85 Field General probably before we got anything else. I don't really know what I'm aiming for here. Some okay upgrades. Oh, injury upgrade. That's kind of interesting. 85 injury now. We do need deep accuracy, but let's just get to 85. I want this damn ability slot. Inside Deadeye would be sick. Nice 2 to mid as well. Inside Deadeye? What is this? High point Deadeye. Ooh. Passer with this ability have perfect accuracy on any high point throws under 20 yards. That's kind of goated, is it not? I almost never use them, but I probably should. I'm pretty sure that's a massive ability. Of course, I don't know if I even showed you guys these. He should have Truz, by the way, unfortunately. He had Freight Train. We did a reroll, got Truz, which is super bad because, yes, plus 1 yards rushing. You don't fumble anymore. The problem is I think you need 8 of them. I don't know the last time I even ran 8 in a 4-game span with Joe Milton. Of course, he has Closer, which I don't really care about because that ability, it sucks so much. We got 2 abilities that are based on his X Factor ability, which sucks. Maybe you keep one of these, you Closer, because with High Point Deadeye and Tight Out, I don't know if I really would want to reroll everything to get him a chance at, what are the elite ones? What do you got? Set Feet Lead, obviously, is great. Roaming Deadeye is decent. Pocket Deadeye is pretty good. Dashing Deadeye is solid. Pass Lead Elite is amazing. Hot Route Master is amazing. I mean, basically anything in the 90s is amazing. Maybe not Threat Detector. That actually distracts me. But yeah, anything 90 plus is really good. But if you don't want to risk High Point Deadeye and even Tight Out, you don't really reroll those. We'll see what happens once he gets to 90 overall. But yeah, I mean, Joe Milton, we were good with him without abilities. Now that he has abilities, I mean, the sky's the limit, if you will. What else do we have here? Kool-Aid McKinstry, still normal dev, so he would also have been a guy that got a new ability. If he was actually superstar, he would have been 85. Let's take a look at man-to-man. 3-to-zone coverage. This is why we go man-to-man, It's 3-to-zone coverage during a man upgrade. What do you want? You know, why would I not do this? Another zone coverage upgrade, 2 to man. It's just, you know, the speed rusher of cornerbacks. Giving us press as well. 86 press now, 84 technically, but +2 with the coach we're never going to get rid of anyways. Brazee! We've been trying to upgrade his speed rusher because it's just so good for getting all types of upgrades. Let's see what we get here. You know, let's see. 1 to power move, 1 to finesse, 1 to hit power, 2 to tackle. I mean, I got a power rusher, didn't I? Actually backed out instead of clicking A. That's my fault. Damn it. I want to continue where we left off, Brazee. I'm not done with you. Speed rusher doesn't get back to the scheme fit, unfortunately, but I was never going to run stopper anyways. 2 to finesse, 1 to hit power, 1 to tackle. So now 80 finesse, 79 block shed, 85 power move. Balanced across the board. He does have swim move, so I don't hate, you know, focusing on that. Nakobe Dean, basically the new actual middle linebacker. We have Demario Davis playing outside linebacker. 2 to block shed, 1 to man, 1 to zone, 1 to tackle, 1 to play rec. Really good upgrade there, obviously. It sucks that he got injured because maybe we would have been able to get him to dev star or something. Shaheed, his abilities are amazing, mind you. He has deep in elite, energizer, which sucks, and then short in elites. I don't think he's going to get much higher than this, though. Right? Like, what's his next ability? So we have... Yeah, we're not going to get higher than that for physical. What are the next ability slots? So you can get jukebox in the slot. What is this slot? I mean, he's never getting that high, right? Like, he's never getting to 85. I would love to get jukebox, though. Jukebox would be so good. But what is he, 27 years old? I don't think we're ever getting the slot, which would be so nice. I mean, like, Slot-O-Matic, it'd be so good, dude. He's like the ultimate slot receiver, but it's never happening. It's really never happening. So let's get him to 80. Was he 87 overall now? Maybe it is happening. I don't know. 3 to release, 4 to short route, 2 to catch, 2 to catch in traffic, 1 to medium route. I mean, he's so good now. Like, he's so good compared to where he started. It's kind of crazy. He has 87 deep threat. Is there a chance to maybe get to 90 deep threat at least? I don't even know what you get there. Deep out elite, acrobat, and evasive. So maybe we hold off a little bit for a chance at base 90. Because you never know. If we get like a really good playmaker, maybe go straight to 89 or something. I'll give it one more upgrade if it's not taking too long. If it's taking too long, I'm just going to re-roll that Energizer, I think. And then we move on to another wide receiver. Darterius Reed. I guess I should have showed you guys the actual names that we've chosen. But Reed, amazing spec catch. Really good injury. Good enough juke ability. Good change of direction. Weird to only have aggressive catch. But, I mean, I guess if you're going to only have one, that's not a bad one to have. Obviously, you go playmaker. It's the best. It is by far the best. 3 to catch, 2 to deep route, 1 to juke, 1 to medium, 1 to spin, 1 to short, 1 to catch in traffic. And there's his updated ratings. Darterius Reed. We now move on to the Olave, who needs to get to Superstar desperately. The guy is freaking 90 plus, and he's star dev. That's criminally bad. We got to get him a dev up. Upgrades, 3 to release, 3 to short, 1 to spec, 2 to juke move, 1 to deep, 2 to catch in traffic, 3 to carrying, 1 to ball carrier vision, and awareness. Now at 90 release, 92 short, 89 medium, 95 deep, 92 spec, 89 catch, 93 catch regular, and then 93 speed. Imagine how good he could be if speed upgrades existed again. You know, he would have probably been 96, 97. I mean, 95, 96 at best, maybe. Marshawn Lattimore, decided to focus him on the practice training camp stuff because it's so expensive for him to get an upgrade. I felt like it was worth it. 3 to play rec. If that was zone, that would have been so goated. But 3 to man coverage, which now puts him at 92 man coverage, 2 to man coverage, 92 man coverage. So 92 man, 92 zone, 97 press. He's good. He's a good player. He's up there in age, but he'll last at least another season or two, hopefully. Then we move on to Kendra Miller, a guy that would have 100% dev'd up if not for the injury. I think he would have been on par. Ooh, 2 to change of direction. That's a goated upgrade. I think he would have been on par for the best running back in the entire league. 1 to juke, 2 to spin move. I think he was at like 800 something, and the highest was 1,200, and he missed 5 games. He would have been on par for at least in the top 10. But yeah, he's really good. 89 spin, 89 juke, 86 change of direction, 90 speed, 90 excel. He's a little faster, but that's fine. 82 trucking. He's a pretty damn complete back. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for the upgrades. Once again, not sure if you're going to see the Colts game or not. I'm going to be doing an outro here just in case you don't. I apologize if you don't see that. Might have been a long video with all those rookies we've seen across the league and never went as in-depth. for all of these rookies like we have here. So the yap is potentially over, whether you're seeing the Colts next or you're seeing the week 1 of the Dolphins next episode. Damn, our team sucks in sim. That's insane. Regardless, thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya. And once again, shout out to the members of the channel. If you're not a member already, maybe think about clicking the join button and seeing the details of how to join. It's next to the subscribe button. Regardless whether you're a member or not, I appreciate you guys watching, and see ya.